Thank you for considering Church Windows. We're going to take a quick 15 or 20-minute tour around the membership module or database for Church Windows software. From the home screen for Church Windows, we're going to click on our membership icon in the bottom left-hand corner. And while the membership is opening, it then takes us to the membership home screen. This is the main home screen for the membership portion of the software. We can access commonly used or all the functions of the membership module here in the upper left corner. By clicking on the various icons in the upper left, it does reveal various functions below that. Commonly used features are accessed right here in the center part of the screen. Everything that's listed here in the center can also be found somewhere here in the upper left. It's a membership database which tracks essentially information about the church's members, visitors, families, households, and individuals that are attending the church or giving to the church. So let's dive into our people, go into people here, and then let's kind of get a quick look at the actual membership portion of the software, the people portion. Here we're looking at our main family or household record. Over here, right here, we see the split screen where my double arrows are kind of hovering over right here in the center here. This is what divides the household information for the family listed on the left and the individual's information that we have selected on the right. If we go through the records here and we find a family that has multiple family members, for example, here the Arnolds, we see Jen, Richard, and William, that as we click on each one of those individual records or names on the left-hand side, the individual information to the right-hand side of that vertical line changes. This represents the individual record. The left of the line or vertical line represents the family record. We do have various options under the family side of there. We've got various tabs here. We've got the individual where we have the family mailing name. Typically, this would be the formal approach to correspondence for the household or family. It's where the main family address would be listed. While you can have alternate and additional family addresses, it's whichever one is selected is the one that will be revealed here. Let's do family main. It's going back to their family main address as opposed to an alternate and a home phone. We also have our family info tab up here, which does reveal various or can track various information about the family. We also have family comments that can be entered. Also, a photograph for the family can be entered for the family as well. And as we kind of continue to move across here where there's other, where you can link or unlink children from other families into this one or vice versa. And we do have the ability to be able to attach files and documents to the family. This would not be photographs. This would be perhaps family information, some important document or something that was important for the church that would be recorded to the family. We'll find that we have that same capability for individuals to the right. If we now go back to our main family tab and we click on the individuals' names here, we notice here I've highlighted Jen Arnold on the left. To the right, I see Jen's first name, middle initial, and last name. All of her information now listed below this, family relation and directory report order and cell phone and marital status and everything as we're looking across here. This all belongs to Jen. And if we click on, say, Richard, then below her on the left, then this information here changes to his information. The greatest customizability that occurs for the membership module occurs here on the individual record. While we do build and create certain fields, and some of them are required and necessary for the software to function correctly, most of the customization occurs on the individual record. You can add fields to this individual record for information that you want to track. And we'll take a look here in a moment on customizing and adding more fields to the membership database. We also have several tabs across the top of the individual record. Groups and classes, where we can track groups and classes for the church. That can include Sunday school classes. It can include committees. It can include choirs. Anything that folks belong to or need to be assigned to would be set up under our groups and classes. And if we kind of click our down arrow here to look at our list of groups and classes that are set up in our database, if a church decides to purchase the Church Windows software, This list is completely empty and user defined and created. We don't create these groups and classes. We don't know what groups and classes or what your church needs are for this information. The similar is true for our skills and interest. As we tab over or click on the skills and interest tab, again, we have a list of skills and interests, services and skills that the members of the church and visitors to the church can bring to the church itself. Again, this is a user-defined list. If you purchase the software, it's blank, but you create this list to assign to your people. Address and phone, email, this would be, again, all alternate or address alternate information, phone number or additional phone number, email information for the individual in question, in this case for Richard. Again, just lots of flexibility for us to be able to track additional addresses, phone numbers and email addresses, multiples. We all know that we all have multiple email addresses and oftentimes phone numbers these days. So the software does permit you to track multiples of those for each individual or family. In addition to family comments, as we had seen on the left, we can track individual comments, meaning about the person itself, the individual that you have highlighted. You also can assign a photo to each individual within the family if you wish. And of course, we can attach files and documents, and typically easier to explain what kind of types files and documents might be required, say, for an individual versus the family, but it could be something like maybe a baptism certificate, a scan or a PDF document, or perhaps a health record or birth certificate or something like that that the church might want to have on record for a particular individual, maybe a parental consent form or something like that that would be associated with a child, for a child to participate in a church activity. So lots of flexibility here. As I indicated, the software does permit you to add and customize fields to the individual record. That's typically done by going up to special functions and right here, customize fields. And here we see the list of customizable fields, the current list of fields that we have available. And if you wish to add more, you can simply click on add down here, and it pops in a new field down here where you can enter the name. You can choose what type of field it is, yes, no field, character, date, email, list, numeric, or phone. And in addition to determining the type of field that it is for what it's being tracked, you can determine, you can choose which one of the categories that the actual new field is revealed or available to populate for. So perhaps you want to set up a membership field to track individual information for the members, for those that are categorized as members versus visitors. That permits you to do that. So right here we notice members and visitors, but you can also make them visible in both for member and visitor categories if you wish. But if you don't, you have the control to be able to do that. So if I simply click one here and I put a name in here, and I'll call this test field, call this test, and it would be a character field. We could simply click OK, and we can even reorder that so it appears in a different position. So if we now push it right up here near the top, okay. Well, let's go to a member family here, and so we can choose that, and there we've got our test field right there. All right. So in addition to being able to create and track, in order for the software to function correctly, the software has to have a family record to track the family information. And within that family, you want to set up at least one individual and all family members, if at all possible, regardless of their actual status or relationship with the church, at least for the completion of the, to ensure that the family unit is complete, at least in the software. Again, you can add as many individuals for a household. If you've got some members of the family that are members of the church and others that are not, you can certainly add and set up records for those that are members or active members of the church and not set up those that are. Or if you have some family members that are not and you wish to add them, you may do that as well. In addition to this, you've got a person lookup up here. So if we simply start typing in the names or the letters of the name we're looking for, it will then reveal people in the database that have those combination of characters, whether it's in their first name or their last name. Families can be categorized as either members or visitors. If you wish to be able to have more categories than members or visitors, you may certainly do so by clicking on the little family category icon here and add more if you wish. typically we find that members and visitors is adequate for most of our users. In addition to that, Church Windows does track attendance, whether it's by individual or by head count. Under attendance entry, you define the groups and classes or the skills or the events that you're wanting to. Again, let's say we've got here Sunday morning worship. We choose the date that we're wanting, and we're going to go back here to the 25th. And here we can see everybody that's in our database here, membership database, can go down the list and check them as present. You can also enter that with or without a head count and an amount collected from donations or giving as well if you wish. Okay. When attendance is recorded or entered here, whether it's with a head count or by individual, attendance reports can be generated as well. Church Windows does also have a visits section. However, we do also have, this is basically what allows ministers to track information or visits that they have with the church members or visitors with the congregants. While that's been in the software for quite some time, we do also have now just recently set up or established a relationship with Notebird. Basically, it's another company that interfaces or with an application that allows Church Windows to upload data from the Church Windows database into Notebird, and then your ministers and clergy can have in the app that's on their telephone the ability to be able to access member and visitor, say, address and name and phone number and email address information while they're on the road. They don't have to be in Church Windows in order to access that information and to access contact information to reach out to those folks. They can be anywhere as long as they've got their phone. Again, Notebird is a separate account. It's not included in Church Windows. It's an interface, but it is certainly worth noting that they do offer a really good deal for the Church Windows customers, and so we would certainly encourage you to look at using Notebird, at least for your ministers and clergy. Church Windows membership also does have some graph and chart capability using the dashboard. So right here we've got our membership dashboard that allows us to be able, there's an attendance graph that we can generate. You've got list items where you can look at a list of items, list items here. We've got age ranges where you can set those up, or age range distributions. So just some more capability for some more reporting flexibility in the software. You know, if say we go here under the list item distribution and it identifies the code for each status code and we click print and print again, it should bring up a pie chart of the actual distribution of our various status codes for what percentage and amounts of our actual database have a particular status code, active member, associate, visitor, what have you. So again, just some more graphing and pie capabilities for folks to have access to that. In terms of the reporting capability in the software, Church Windows does have an email cape program built in. We write in email. It does rely on a outgoing SMTP mail server that you would set up, whether that's Gmail or any other email server. You should be able to get that set up in email from the Church Windows software. Once the email is set up here or in donations, that is accessible for either member to email from membership or the donations module. We do have some pre-formatted reports, things like birthday report, anniversary reports. We have some groups and skills, groups, classes, skills and interests, and attendance reports as well. But we also have just some general complex queries and report label capability as well. So when we click on reports and labels, we can produce labels from the software quickly and easily based on queries that we enter. Or I'm going to show you here some reports directory options. Here we have a query builder that allows us to build queries based on information that we have about our people in the membership database. We can also combine that with giving and pledging information as it pertains to the donations or as it exists in the donations database as well. But if we do absolutely nothing here and click next, it will allow us to produce essentially a directory for everybody in the church that has the appropriate code assigned. But this does allow you to enter some pretty complex queries here. So if we click next, step one is who do we want to appear on the report? Step two is what do we want the ultimate output to be? So here in the upper left, we see a variety of report options, basic reporting. We've got some custom reports. We can mail merge export the list of data. There's all information reports about the people that we're seeing in our list. We can do an export of the directory, or we can actually create some very nice looking, or have some very nice looking directories that can all be generated from the Church Windows program itself, with or without, whether you have photos or not. Of course, if you would like to produce a pictorial directory from Church Windows, those photographs would need to be assigned to the respective households or individuals. But even if you don't, you can still produce information directory. Here we've got, we've got several 2-column directories. We even go down further and we've got other information directories here. Various directories, template, 3-column, booklet style, horizontal, picture directory. If we do, let's say, a simple picture directory down here at the bottom and simply click print, this should allow us to bring up a very nice looking picture directory, all built into the software, provided since we've got those pictures assigned to the individuals in our database. The producing of a pictorial directory can be this easy. If you choose not to, you can certainly go back to there, and we could choose like a standard 3-column directory, classic directory, and click print. No photos will appear, but it will allow us to be able to produce an information directory with names, address, cell phone, email, what have you, if you wish. Church Windows is a very large database program with a great deal of customizability to it, and that is not more true than in membership, because membership is really, frankly, the largest portion of the database in the software itself. The membership, also, all of the people that exist in your membership database automatically exist or will appear in the donations module in order to be able to post giving. Okay, so as what's called an integrated modular program, the member information and the people information that's set up in the membership module will tie into and reveal or appear in the donations module to be able to record giving for those individuals and families and pledgings, as we'll then look at when we get to our in our donations demo video that you'll be able to watch at some point as well, if you wish. Let me take a quick peek here. Yeah, and with that, we have givers and donations we don't want to clutter up our membership database, but if we have a person that we want to transfer into donations as a donations giver, we can certainly do that. We've got the transfer to donations up here. But really that, folks, is in about 15 or 17 minutes, a quick tour around the membership module. And we hope that if you have questions about the Church Windows software or membership specifically, if there's something you did not see here today, that you will please pick up the phone and give us a call, 800-533-5227. Our technicians are certainly happy to answer any questions that may not have been answered here. And we'll look forward to hearing from you if you have questions. Thank you.